But for now, let's turn our attention to the personal finance segment. Harshvardhan Roongta of Roongta Securities is our expert for the day. And Harsh, there are two types of claims as far as Medi-Claim is concerned. So one is cashless and the other one is reimbursed. While it's not possible to tackle the entire extent of this discussion today, so why don't we split this into two? And this week, let's talk about what needs should be kept in mind to ensure that cashless claims are processed smoothly.
Well, absolutely. You rightly identified, and you've established that cashless. See, I'll tell you, cashless is a mechanism wherein if a patient is treated within a hospital which is on the panel of the insurance company, then an insurance company settles either the part of the claim or the entire claim directly with the hospital. So this requires a patient not to pay any amount at the hospital for the treatment. Now, what needs to be understood is that there are certain procedures which need to be maintained, and if you follow those procedures, then the claim is smoothly processed. At the first level, all the hospitals who are empaneled with the insurance companies will have an insurance desk in their hospital premises itself. A policyholder needs to get to this desk, acquire a pre-authorization form. Now, this pre-authorization form needs to be filled in completely. Each policyholder needs to make sure that all the information that has been asked for in the form has been correctly and completely filled in, because any information that you miss out on this form will only delay the process of getting an approval. Now, once you fill in the details of this form, which typically is the nature of the treatment or the surgery that you're going to undergo, what is the likely cost of the treatment, which the hospital will inform you in advance, what are the dates of admission and discharge. Now, this form, after it has been filled in, needs to be stamped and signed by the hospital and the consulting doctor both, and then it has to be faxed across to the TPA or the insurance company. Now, after having evaluated this data which is available with the insurance company right now, they will approve a particular amount and send a fax back to the hospital saying that so much an X amount has been approved. Now, let's understand this with an example. If the hospital has estimated and given an cost estimates to you for about 3 lakhs of rupees, the insurance company and the TPA will probably rework this, and as per their estimates have, for instance, approved 2 lakhs of rupees. So they have sent a fax back to the hospital saying that we will pay the expenses up to 2 lakhs under cashless, and if there is any amount which is more than this, then we look at it later on. Now, at the time of discharge, the treatment is over. At the time of discharge, the bill is generated for the extent of 2,60,000 rupees. So in this case, the policy holder has two options in front of him. The first is that he again sends a fax back with now the final bill, the final discharge summary and all the bills and reports to the insurance company, and waits for the approval to come by. Now, this probably could take some time, it takes a couple of hours. So in this period, your discharge is likely to be held up. Now, the other option is that the policyholder himself pays the difference of 60,000 rupees, and then he submits those original receipts to the insurance company for reimbursement of this 60,000 rupees. So, in all, to sum up, what a policyholder needs to keep in mind is that he needs to give all the information that is asked for in that form, and not miss out on any information, because if the insurance company is going to get back to you and ask for more information time and again, it's going to only delay the process. So go by this process, keep in touch with the insurance company even after you have sent them the pre-authorization form, so that at least they can take up the matter, because sometimes we've noticed that the fax has been sent but nobody has looked at it unless you make a follow-on call to them. So if you just maintain these kind of processes and you follow them, the likelihood of getting an approval quickly is very high.
Okay, very quickly, are the premiums for cashless higher than reimbursement? And secondly, wouldn't there be a constraint in terms of empaneled hospitals for cashless? Because in that case, possibly your ailment is in a hospital where there are not enough beds at that particular point in time. And these are not things that you can wait. It's not like booking a hotel room. If you need the operation, you need it now. So would these be constraints that may work against cashless?
Well, Lata, the first part, there is no difference, in the premium if you're availing a cashless facility. There is no difference in the premium that you pay. There is one standard premium. Now, what happens, your second part of the question, if you want to get admitted into an hospital which is not on the panel, and there is no other bed available in an empaneled hospital, you still need to go ahead with your treatment. So there is a bit of a constraint. I would put it like this: the cashless is an added benefit rather than the prerequisite of a treatment. So if you happen to be admitted into a hospital which is on the panel, good for you. If not, at least you need to get yourself treated and get a reimbursement of the claim.
But in that case, the insurance company does pay you, does reimburse you. Only it's not cashless, you're reimbursed.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough.
Absolutely. See, what is important to understand. Yeah, what is important to understand is that you are going to be paid for the claim, whether under the cashless, if the place that you're getting treated is a registered hospital defined as per the policy, or a nursing home, then you will be paid, just that you will not have a cashless facility.
Fair enough. Harsh, we have to take a break. There are people with similar and more questions for you in a minute.
Welcome back. It's holding up for the mid-caps, though the frontliners are ticking lower. So now as we speak, it's dipped below the 5,900 mark on the Nifty. Marginal cut of about 0.1%, but slowly the markets are ticking slightly lower. We have been speaking to Harshvardhan Roongta to address all the queries on the Medi-Claim side. So we've got Arjun Chaudhary, who calls us from Gurgaon with his question. Hi, Arjun.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a query regarding domiciliary hospitalization. My father was recently unwell and he had to be admitted to the nearest hospital. Later on we found out from the Medi-Claim policy that that particular hospital was not covered under the policy. We thought about moving the hospital but were advised against it by the doctor. My query is like, how can I claim domiciliary hospitalization in such a situation, and what is the documentational procedure required for it?
Harsh?
Well, Arjun, let me just explain what a domiciliary hospitalization is in the first place. Now, this is an domiciliary hospitalization is a situation wherein the patient cannot be moved to an hospital because he is very critically ill. Now, this needs to be certified by your doctor that the patient was in a position where we could not have moved him to an hospital, so treatment started at home. But in your case, it is very clear that you had approached an hospital, and just because the hospital was not on the panel of the insurance company, you've chosen not to take a treatment there. Arjun, let me just tell you that you can go into any hospital which is registered, a nursing home which is registered and defined in the insurance policy. So normally a hospital is a place wherein there are 15 beds, a fully operational operation theatre, a registered doctor at all times. So, there are certain criteria to define an hospital. Now, if you get yourself admitted in that hospital, which may not be on the panel of the insurance company, you can avail of the treatment. The only thing is you will have to pay all the charges yourself upfront and then apply with the insurance company under the reimbursement option for the claim. So, I don't think this would technically, your case would fit into a domiciliary hospitalization process. But however, answering your query, the process for domiciliary hospitalization is quite similar to a reimbursement, which we'll probably take up more in detail in the next week. What you need to understand, check with your policy, because some of the companies do not even cover domiciliary hospitalization. So first go into the section of domiciliary hospitalization to check whether your policy does provide you domiciliary hospitalization benefits. Secondly, there is a restriction. If your sum insured is say 3 lakh of rupees, the domiciliary hospitalization coverage will not be 3 lakhs, but it is restricted to a part of the sum insured. So just have all these, just check all these details. The filing process of claim is quite similar to a reimbursement process. So once it is, once you have established that you are entitled to this kind of a claim, then probably we can go ahead and look at how to go about and reimbursing your claim.
All right. Harsh, thanks a lot for that. We will, of course, have many more questions for you on the reimbursement scheme for Medi-Claims. All of us have been in that position at some point or the other, so plenty of questions on that issue. That will be, of course, next week.